I always remember my father-in-law. He was a 80-something years old taxi driver. And always something that I learned when I first came to Portugal, if you wanted to know where was the best place to go eat, you asked
I
the
was
taxi
gonna say that.
drivers. Yeah,
I
that's
was
who you
gonna
asked.
say that.
Where do you where do we eat here? In so any town
Yes.
that we ever go, we either stop. My wife and I will either stop a taxi driver or a construction worker. We'll say, listen, where's a good place to go and eat?
Yeah.
But he always used to come to our home for a barbecue, or my wife would make something in the oven, and he would say, "How much would you pay for this in a restaurant? How much would you
Yeah.
pay for this in a restaurant?" But it's something that took me a long time to get used to. Was
I am Catarina, and I'm an architect, an actress, and also a foodie. I am the latest guest on Portugal, the Simple Life podcast, where you can hear me and Dylan talk about basically food and how Portuguese food is amazing. So if you want to know more about duck rice, just listen. Thank you.
Welcome back, or welcome to another episode of Portugal, the Simple Life, and I'm delighted to be joined here by Catarina Rebelo Guerra. Catarina, thank you for being on the podcast. How are you?
Thank
Thank you
you
for
very
being on the
much.
podcast again.
Again, exactly. I was going to mention that. Thank you for having me again.
For those of you that don't know who you are, tell us a little bit about you.
Yeah, so in that episode specifically, we were rehearsing for a play because I started studying for drama school 2 years ago. I just am about to enter the final year of drama school. I am also a trained architect, so I studied architecture. Currently, I am just dividing myself between these two arts, I would say. So I work during the day as an architect. I do 3D images, they call renders. And during the night, I take these acting courses in act school. And on the side, I also like to write about food and go to restaurants whenever possible. And recently, I've been doing some experiments in filming recipes.
Aha.
Let's see,
Okay.
because I enjoy cooking, so I was like, why not? Let's try.
You're a very dangerous person to follow on Instagram because pretty much every second post is about food, just about.
Yes,
So it's
yes.
do not follow Katarina's Instagram if you're hungry, because you'll just get more hungry. And even
Or
if you're
if
not
you're on a
hungry, you
diet,
will get hungry. If you're on a
yes,
diet,
don't
don't
do it.
either. Exactly. But where are you originally from in Portugal, Katarina?
Lisbon.
From okay, Lisbon.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm from Lisbon.
But I see you travel a lot throughout the country. Like,
Yes,
just take us
I try.
through, because I think something that people surprises people and people aren't that aware of with Portugal is how diverse it is in such a small area. But what do you particularly enjoy about traveling the country, and why is it such an enjoyable and easy experience to travel here?
First of all, because everything is relatively close. I mean, 4 hours to travel by car seems a lot, but when you can just go to another completely different landscape. I'm thinking, for instance, last year we went to Alto Douro, which is like in the Beira Interior, which is like a more interior area, and we were there just traveling through the villages, which the aldeias, and suddenly we discovered this one amazing place which had no one, which is called Moreira de Rei, and
Okay.
basically because I think the king once stayed there, so they just named
They named it that.
after
Yeah.
it. And suddenly you have this huge square, like not huge because but the it seemed huge because it had a lot of it was like a graveyard. And suddenly
Wow.
I dare you to I challenge you to search online Moreira de Rei, because it's completely, what is this? So you have this open, it's a graveyard, obviously with no bodies, because it's very I think it's, I don't know from what century, but it's like an archaeological site of old graveyards in the middle of the square of the city. They just discovered it maybe 20 years ago, 10 years ago. And now it's open in the square of the city, of this village, not city, of course, it's a village. I was like, this is Portugal. It seems like, and I've never heard of it. And
Yeah.
we found it just
By chance.
by chance. Yeah, we were
Yeah.
traveling by car, staying in a very pretty house, which is called Casa do Castanheiro, which is like a small wooden cabin made by an architect in the middle of nowhere. And so we were riding our car and suddenly discovered this village with an open graveyard in the square that seemed like a movie set, but it was not. Yeah.
Which part of the country do you enjoy visiting the most outside of Lisbon? Or is that a difficult question?
Yes, it
How
is.
about a top 5 list of places to visit?
Like regions,
It can be regions,
places.
it can be towns or villages that you like. If you're not going to go to Lisbon, these are the places that you should. If you're not going to go to Lisbon or Porto, these
Okay,
are the places
Portugal.
that you should go.
Okay. Setúbal to eat good
Choco
fish.
frito.
Yes, choco frito and salmonetes. So Setúbal, Évora, for instance, is amazing. I love it. I really like where I spend vacations with my parents, which is Foz do Arelho
Yeah.
and Caldas da Rainha. I really like Caldas. Is an amazing city. I would say the region of like Beira Interior, like many small villages there. Also the Aldeias de Xisto,
Yeah.
which there are many, but
Piedão, and all of
yeah,
that region.
Piodão. Yeah,
Piedão.
there
Yeah.
are.
And
Mm,
Beira Interior it's there's so much to see in that area with Monsanto,
yeah,
Sortelia.
yeah.
It's out of this world.
It's very rich. I mean, you can explore it for weeks
You can
if you
see why
want.
they filmed House of Dragons at Monsanto. It's like
Exactly.
another, like you're in another
Exactly.
place. It's
This
it's
this this
crazy.
village I was mentioning earlier, Moreira de Rei, has this feeling as well. Has
Mm.
this kind of like House
Where is
of
it close
Dragons.
to? Which part? Which like bigger town is it close to in the north? You
Guarda.
say
It's
close to Guarda.
close-ish,
That's a beautiful region.
close-ish. Yeah. I mean, I love the Algarve, like the east part, the
Closer
east
to the
part of
Spanish
Algarve.
border.
Yeah, Tavira, for instance, is also very, very pretty. And well, Coimbra. I also
Coimbra's
like
nice.
Coimbra. Yeah,
Coimbra's nice.
Coimbra is nice.
Now in Portugal, we travel to eat. I know you love this part of our culture, and Portugal is food. But just talk about that concept. Like it's not worth traveling to a place if there's no good restaurants there, you know?
Yeah,
So
it's true. And even
it's
when
a
I'm traveling like that, that's like a mindset. Like I go but first I will see where I can eat, and then I will
yeah.
see what I can see, what I can visit. I
Yeah.
think.
Why is it that way? And what do you enjoy about it?
I think firstly because everyone has memories of eating good food at home. It's a family thing since very young. You remember you have memories of your grandmother cooking and you watching or learning and cooking
Yeah.
food that you enjoy. So maybe it's very deeply engraved in
Yeah,
your
and if you are going to leave home to go somewhere to eat,
yes.
it has to be good because otherwise, what's
That's
the point?
why that's
Yeah,
why it's serious
yeah,
because
because it
because
is.
it's serious. I mean, I'm not going
Yeah,
to leave my house if I'm going to eat something that's worse than what my mother or father would do. So and
yeah,
today that's a very it's true. Like I hear my mom say that all the time because my father cooks very well, and sometimes she's like, "I'm not going to leave if I can eat better at home." Of course, they do go to eat out a lot, but they have this, and it's true. It's
yeah.
true.
Looking for a home in Portugal? This break in Portugal, the Simple Life podcast, is brought to you by Dylan and his team of certified realtors at Portugal Realty. Portugal Realty offers the exclusive Simple Life home buyer program. Visit portugalrealty.com today and book your free call to find out more. Welcome to the Simple Life.
I always remember my father-in-law. He passed last year, but he was a 80 something years old taxi driver.
Okay.
And always something that I learned when I first came to Portugal. If you wanted to know where was the best place to go eat, you asked
I
the
was
taxi
gonna say that.
drivers. Yeah,
I
that's
was
who you
gonna
ask.
say that.
Where do we eat here in the, so any town
Yes.
that we ever go, we either stop, my wife and I will either stop a taxi driver or a construction worker. We'll say, listen, where's a good place to go and eat?
Yeah.
But he always used to come to our home for a barbecue, or my wife would make something in the oven, and he'd say, "How much would you pay for this in a restaurant? How much would you
Yeah.
pay for this in a restaurant?" But it's something that took me a long time to get used to, was how serious choosing the right place to go eat was, especially marrying a Portuguese woman. And
But
now,
did you feel a big difference from
yeah,
okay. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. Just the how serious of a decision this was, that we're not going to waste time on a bad meal, life's
Yeah,
too short for bad meals kind of thing. And
for sure.
it was quite a difference.
As families, we repeat a lot of restaurants, like because we know, and we were not going to waste time and money on a new. I mean, it's so trying new things is not like it's hard sometimes for
Yeah.
families.
I think the culture of being together around a table and how important that is, it was quite new for me, and something now today that I really really appreciate and value.
Yeah.
So my wife will say, "Where do you feel like today?" She'll say, "Where do you feel like going to? Do you want to go there?" And I'll go, "No, we're not wasting our Saturday going there. No, let's go somewhere that's really 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 nice." So
Yeah.
so yeah,
Because
Calder's.
it ruins your day if
Yeah,
you
so
eat a bad
Calder's, we're
meal.
lucky because we live near to Calder's, and as you know, Calder's for restaurants is
Yes.
it's pretty good still.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think we don't want to waste time and money, especially maybe more money than
Both, I
time.
think it's both. I think it's
It's
both
both.
because also I think traditionally Portugal we always been careful with money here, so you can't just go to a random place waste money if it's not going to be good.
Yeah, because you would eat better at home without paying as much.
That makes
Yeah.
sense, actually. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
Alvalade has a lot of these tascas.
yeah,
But well, now I don't live there anymore. But I moved, and this one place has like a 10 euro menu, like with a drink, a plate, and dessert, and coffee.
and coffee.
So
Yeah,
10 euros, which I mean, it seems quite. And the
that's
food
good.
is it's
Yeah,
good. It's homemade food, like not very fancy, but it's good. So we call it our canteen because it's just around the corner from our house, and so you can find these gems. I mean, if you dig a lot.
talk to us about some of those recipes that you've been working
Ah,
on, Catarina.
yeah. I mean, that I mean, an experiment for fun because I really enjoy cooking, and I thought, why not just start filming? Maybe some of my friends will be encouraged to try to cook. The first recipe I posted on Instagram a video, and it's not even Portuguese, but because I came from Italy, I brought some ingredients and I did a carbonara recipe, just to get over with the myth of whipped cream in whipped no not whipped cream in carbonara thing, and yeah, just to have fun. And now I have, so just before meeting you, I'm just looking at my kitchen, which is there. I was doing a dumplings recipe, which I never did before. And I just was our it was our lunch, and they were
That
good.
was good.
So
Yeah.
it was good. I might post it. They were good. So yeah, I want to have fun first of all, and to maybe encourage people to try different things, because that's what happens to me when I see videos of other people cooking. Of course, the videos always seem very simple, and then you go to the reality
Yeah.
and it's not that simple, but it is not as hard as we believe, I think.
We have people listening from all over. If you were to recommend a few of the traditional Portuguese dishes that someone has to try, what are you recommending?
It's very simple, but it's one of my favorites, which is cozido. Cozido is amazing. I mean, it's not a
Yeah, it's
showstopper.
simple, but not every place does it well. It's,
Yeah,
you gotta,
and
you
you have to
gotta,
have the right ingredients as well.
yeah.
So like good quality meats and good quality charcuterie, chorizos and
Sausages and
sausage. Yeah,
yeah.
but cozido is it's my favorite dish.
Is it your comfort food?
It is.
Your comfort. If you've been in Lisbon ever from the beginning, you've seen the changes that are happening there, and with that, certain problems that are coming up. So we don't need to get into all of that. But we have people that are listening from all over the world who want to potentially make a move to Portugal, move here, live here. You've traveled up and down the country. What would you like people to know about our amazing country?
Portugal is a it's great. I love it. I don't want to talk about the weather, but the weather is good. Also, the people, despite all of these problems that you were kind of mentioning, like we want people to come. We
Yeah.
love having people.
Yeah. Look, the reality is you're not going to get sprayed by a water gun in Portugal, like what happened in Barcelona, for example. The people with all the problems, they're still going to be kind and welcoming.
Yeah, they are. Be able to come whenever, wherever they want. Like so many reasons, the safety, food, weather, the distance between things, like the change of scenery you can have. People are nice. It's many, many things.
What is one thing that you'd like people to remember and take away from our conversation?
Well, don't underestimate the roast pat.
Exactly. I like that. I'm on board with that sentiment. Catarina, a question that we ask all of our guests. Portugal, the simple life. Why?
Because it's the best way to live.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Thank you so much for being on the podcast again. It was
Thank you so much for having me again.
And I'm going to let you call it.
It's a wrap.
So thank you once again to our guests, and thank you to all of you for listening. Please subscribe, share with your friends, give us a thumbs up, and please leave a comment or a review. We always love to hear from you. Don't forget, Portugal The Simple Life also has a magazine, so download it. It's for free. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode, and as we say in Portugal, sejas bem-vindo. Welcome to The Simple Life.